you break into a sweat with even the thought of having company? I'm here to help. After trying just a few of my hosting tips, you'll be more than ready to say, come on over. Now in part one, we talked about this side of the jungle. So let's look at this side, which is a little more seasonal. Seasonal meaning that they are inside now, but I am going to move them outside as spring turns into summer and possibly even into the fall. This beautiful, beautiful rosemary tree. And it's a tree, sometimes called a standard, because whoever started this trimmed back all of the green until it had a nice stem. And you could maybe see here, it is a braided stem, so even more beautiful when the stem has been braided. And then they stopped clipping and turned it into this beautiful tree. Now, rosemary is an herb.
I spent the evening with the radio.
Meaning that it really does prefer to be outside where the temperatures are much higher, the sun is much harsher, and it can get some of this wonderful southern humidity, which is really bad for my hair.
But Monica's hair is twice as big as it was when we landed.
But really great for plants. So what's great about a rosemary is that when you run your hands, oh, it just smells like, well, it smells like Christmas, but it smells like any savory dish you would want to make. Could I come over here and clip off some rosemary from my plant for a dish? Absolutely. I would probably come in and clip off from the bottom because it's going to keep growing up. Now, this is a very, very simple care. I don't really touch it. If something's looking bad and I might need to take my scissors and clip it off, I might just take that dried rosemary and use it in a recipe. Other than that, what I'm going to do and what you should do for all your houseplants is check them once a week. In the winter months, when it's drier in your house and air is coming out of the vent, like when this ivy is sitting in front of a vent, it's going to dry out faster. I might have to water twice a week. Well, how do I know when it's time to water? I stick my finger. Literally, stick my finger down into the dirt. This feels, and I'm down in, like I'm dragging my finger through this. It feels okay, like it's not dry, and it's not wet, and it should never be super wet. I could maybe give it a little drink. It wouldn't be a lot. I'm gonna go around the edge like this. If it's starting to wilt, see how this is turning down just a bit? It might need to be watered. It also comes in this really thoughtful plastic shell down here. So I can pour my water into the shell like this. Get it up halfway up the pot, and that way the roots will take the water when they want it. Not when I say, hey, have some water, when they actually want to draw from it. You can do that to pretty much any plant. You can set this bonsai down in water when you go out of town, like halfway up the side, and it will draw the water when it wants it, not when you tell it. Now I can tell when it's dry because I'll just put my fingers right on that soil and I'm like, woo, that is dry. Or it might be really light. If you pick up a plant and you almost throw it when you pick it up, it's too dry. It needs water. Every plant needs water, but you don't want to overwater. See, I picked this up, nothing dripped out, and it will draw the water as it needs it. Let's talk about other seasonal plants. These two are called an oxalis. An oxalis is just the Latin name. This one is called a shamrock, and oh, look what we have, little shamrocks.
Hey, let's make sure he's a leprechaun.
And this one I like because it's purple. Now this is seasonal because although it started inside, and I could keep it inside probably year round, I wouldn't because it'll get too leggy and it won't look good. So what I want to do is I want to plant this into the landscape in a pretty much a shady area. It doesn't want necessarily harsh sun. Most plants don't. I'll probably put it somewhere that gets morning sun, so it's a nicer sun and some mottled sun. Put it right down in, and then this will spread. And oh my word, look at these beautiful bell-shaped blooms. I don't know if you can see them, but they're kind of a violet color up against this really, really dark purple. Absolutely beautiful. I don't even have it in a pot right now. I just, like a real pot, I just have it in the nursery can. So Oxalis shamrock. This is another oxalis called Iron Cross, and that's because of the way that the shamrock is shaped like it is. I love this because it has this bright green, but it also has some nice markings of almost a purple in there. This I am going to put probably in the shade, probably in my moon garden. Which gets a lot of shade. It gets very, very light morning sun, northeast facing. And it's pretty happy there with the candy tuft and other things that like to be in that area. So this also will spread for me and be beautiful. This is a cyclamen. You can tell by the leaf that it's a kind of ivy. And you know, I could get in there with my leaf shine and a little cloth, and I could shine these up if I wanted to, just very lightly. I can also just take a paper towel or something and get them a little lighter. I do kind of like the chalky way they look naturally, and I just don't think you can top these blooms. I mean, look at this. And I'm looking at this. This plant was $7. I got it recently because I thought it would be nice to have something inside before it's time to really trust the weather to plant outside. Now, when the blooms die, like this one, resist the urge to yank it out.
You grasp your mandrake firmly, you pull it sharply up out of the pot.
Sometimes you will yank the plant completely out. Take your scissors, well, that just came off the bloom, but you take your scissors and cut the stem back, and it will keep blooming for you. You can fertilize just normally with regular Miracle-Gro singles. You can use the powder that comes in a big container. You can use the liquid that dissolves into your water. Very easy to fertilize. And I fertilize every other week generally when I do it. Or if it says on the plant tag, which sometimes you get, a plant tag, and you can look on the back. Sometimes there are no words, it's just pictures. There might be full sun, meaning you can plant it in full sun. This is a partial sun, knowing that. It shows you watering, and it tells you if you're going to plant it, how close do you plant them together. But not all plants come with that. And so if you're unsure, you can ask the garden center where you bought it, or you can go online. Like if you know this is called a cyclamen, go online and look up Cyclamen plant care, and it will give you all the information you need to know. This one also came with a plant tag, so that was helpful, sort of helpful. This one has some written information, so that's always nice. All of these are easy to water. You can either just pour the water right into the soil, or you can set this down in something and water in the saucer. I have this up here to show you what I do. This came from a grocery store, no joke. It came with a saucer on the inside, so you have this kind of nice basket look saucer on the inside. It does not drain. So what I can do is I can put my plants down in here that look really nice, and I can either water straight from the top and let it drip through into the saucer, or I can pour my water right into the saucer and let the plant take it from the roots. Either way works great. I don't think you want to necessarily get these leaves on the cyclamen wet so you can lift them up, or you can pour water into your little measuring cup, take your giant horse syringe and fill it up, And if you're worried about getting anything on a leaf, you just pick up the leaf gently and aim your water right into the pot. That way, you're not getting any water on the leaf. I use this thing all the time. It is awesome. Thank you, Laura from Garden Answer, for suggesting this for any plants that you need to be really careful around the leaves. Okay, so seasonal, easy herb, this wonderful bonsai. We have Oxalis that will go into the landscape, and the Cyclamen. All very, very easy plants. All of these also take a regular potting soil. Nothing special other than it is a potting soil. I do like the moisture control to kind of help me out in that way. I will go through, usually on a Monday. I read somewhere that if you choose a day of the week where you're doing something else, like on Sunday you go to church, that's the day you water. On Wednesday you go to the gym, that's the day you water. On Mondays, to me, it's the start of the week, the start of all my tasks, the list comes out, and that's the day I water. I also mark in my calendar whether it is a fertilizing week or not. I just follow the directions of what the plants want, and I give them the fertilizer when it's time to do so. When it's not time to do so, I just water them regularly. Good old watering can, good old fertilizer, and you're ready to go. Houseplants do not need to be complicated. And if you're not confident with houseplants, start with something very simple. A ZZ plant, a bonsai, I really think those are pretty simple. An orchid, simple. Violet, simple. Ivy, very forgiving. Anything that you think, yeah, I might be able to make it with that, I think you will be happy. Just trying out the methods I have given you now for basic houseplant care. And you know, if you fail, it's okay. Go get another one. Because I know if you keep trying, you will end up surrounded by beauty, just like me. Thanks for watching. You can also use our handy dandy, what do I call it? Think. I plunge. It is called, you give yourself a shot, it is called a, oh my word. Syringe. Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.